Hi there, I'm Susie Cohen and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to mess around in the kitchen and I'm going to teach you how to make the most delicious homemade yogurt you've ever made. And I have tested this recipe for about 8 months, and the recipe that I show you today is going to be the best one that you will find, guaranteed. Because I have stalked YouTube, I've watched everyone else's videos, I've thrown away and poured out countless batches, so I promise you what you watch today is going to be amazing. And this is what you need. Well, I only use Chobani, not to eat it, but to use it as my starter because it makes it creamy. You don't actually need that. I'm going to use it because I think it makes the yogurt wonderful. You really need a yogurt starter, so I'm going to use 2 packets. You can use any brand. I like Bella & Bella. It's nice. And then you'll need these tools, which I have already sterilized. This is a tablespoon, and I've got a digital... very cool digital thermometer, which will come in handy very shortly. All of this has been sterilized. Now I use arrowroot as my thickener. Don't use xanthan gum. You will throw it out. Just arrowroot, that's the best. And you will also need some milk to make the yogurt. And my little secret is to also use some whipping cream. So I use both and I try to get the cleanest amounts. You won't be using all of this. You're going to need a total of 1/2 gallon, which is 64 fluid ounces. So if you want to measure that, you can. I don't need to. I know it by heart because I've made it so many times, so I can estimate it using my my pan here. Oh, I gotta shake this up. Hopefully it won't go all over the kitchen. Sometimes it gets thick. So okay, so I know how much to pour visually, but if you were doing this and just starting out, what you're gonna need is, you're gonna need 16 fluid ounces of this. I think I need a little more. Yeah, that looks about right. And the rest of it would be 48 ounces in whole milk. Don't use 2% milk. Do not use skim milk, it will not work. Use whole milk and whipping cream. If you want to use heavy whipping cream, you can do that as well. So again, I've done a visual thing here because I know where on my pot to put it, but you will need 64 fluid ounces or 1/2 gallon total. Now, if you wanted to skip the whipping cream and just use 1/2 gallon of milk, you absolutely could do that. It simplifies it. The reason I add the whipping cream is because it makes it creamy. And that's the same reason I use the Chobani starter. It's makes it a thicker, more delicious, wonderful mouthfeel and more closer to what you're probably used to. So, couple of reasons that I make my own yogurt, people have asked me that, is because I used to have reactions to store-bought yogurt. Just make me feel bad, I don't know, just my tummy would hurt and sometimes burping and stuff like that, and sniffling, mainly like sneezing and sniffing. And it wasn't all the time, but it was pretty frequent. When I started making my own yogurt, all of that went away. Not only that, but it's cheaper if you can make your own batch because you're gonna make quite a bit of it. Now, a word about your yogurt maker. I have returned probably 10 of them to Amazon or thrown them out due to non-refundable, returnable policies. I've settled on the Luvelli, which is right here, and this is my incubator. I'll get a better shot for you later, but this is what all of this good stuff is gonna go into and incubate. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so now we're gonna start cooking it. So I'm gonna turn the heat on, and it's on about medium. You could go medium to medium low if you want. Don't go too hot because you'll scald the milk. And what I'm gonna do is cover it. And it's gonna take about maybe 5 or 6 minutes. Hard to say, it depends what your temperature is and how your oven works. But you're gonna check it periodically. You wanna get your yogurt to 180 degrees, at which point you will turn the temperature, the heater off, and you will let it sit for 10 minutes, and that will sterilize it. Every now and then, you're gonna give it a stir, So when it hits 180, again, you'll turn off the temperature for 10 minutes and let it sit with the cover on. That basically sterilizes any pathogens. That's an important step that a lot of people forget to do. But I think it's important because if you're going to incubate, you know, bacteria, you want them to be the friendly sort. And so, you know, the milk I've bought, I don't know really what's in it. So the 180 degrees for 10 minutes will take care of all of that. Anyway, I'll show you what I do periodically. Give it a stir and stick this in. It has a light. Right now, it says 57 degrees. It's gonna keep going. While that's heating up, I'm gonna show you what else I do. Take the arrowroot powder, and I get 2 tablespoons of this. You could use 3 if you want it even thicker, but 2 works for me. So that's just gonna sit there because this goes in at the very, very end. So we're just gonna leave that there. And we're gonna leave everything there. Let's see how this is coming. Yeah, it's cooking good. All right, check in with you later. We've got to be closed now, so let's take a look. Sam, can you read that? Because it's facing the camera.
186, 185.
Okay, let me turn that off. It's okay if you go over 180. You're shooting for 180 degrees Fahrenheit or 82 degrees Celsius. If it goes a little bit above that, just for, you know, a few seconds, that's okay. But do keep an eye on it. You don't want it to scald. So at this point, I've cut the heat, put the lid on, and we're going to let it rest for about 10 minutes. So go do anything you want. I will come back in 10 minutes, and then I'll tell you what's next. Okay, so this has been covered for 10 minutes, and now I'm going to remove the cover. And you have 2 ways to cool it down. Your goal is to take it down from 180, where it is now, to 100 degrees Fahrenheit, which is also 37 or maybe 38 degrees Celsius. That's the goal. And you have 2 ways to do that. You can leave it sit on top of the stovetop and just go do something, or you can put it in an ice bath, which is what I'm going to do for the sake of this video. So I prepared the ice bath by putting some ice from my ice maker in here, and very carefully I will nestle this inside my ice bath and just leave it. And just take note that the faucet spigot is turned this way. I don't want any water drippings in my sterile batch of yogurt. So this is going to cool off. This goes really quickly, maybe, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes, and then I'll come back and show you what's next. Okay, we're at 100 degrees. If it's 102, that's not a problem. If it's 95 or 98, that's not a problem either. Don't stress about the exact temperature. Don't try to reheat it and stuff. Anyway, I'm going to very carefully bring it back to the oven, because this is my workstation. And at this point, what I do next is I take my non-dairy yogurt starters. They could be dairy starters. I mean, this is a dairy yogurt. It's not coconut yogurt. I can't make coconut yogurt. Every time I do, it is an epic fail. So I'm just putting the good friendly probiotic cultures in here. And this will go into solution. You just gotta work with it for, I don't know, just like this. Give it a few more good stirs. Probably okay. And now I'm going to add the chobani, which is optional, but I love this stuff because it makes it creamy. I didn't get very much on there. So going for about 2 or 3 tablespoons. Don't overdo it. All these things are sterilized. And just going to stir that in. The reason I'm doing it in this order is because if I was to put the arrowroot in here, the arrowroot is a thickener, and what happens is it makes it clumpy and chunky, and you get these like just little, you know, balls of yogurt that are starting to harden. So that's the last thing that you do. You don't put the arrowroot in first, you put it in last. First, the probiotic cultures. Okay, so that looks good. So the way I do the arrowroot is I dump this in and I grab some milk in there. And the reason for that is I want to give this a good stir. I don't want to just put it into my solution because again, you'll get little thickened globules in there. So I'm just going to set this aside. You can see it's perfect now. We're going to wait. We do this at the very, very end. Now the hard part, getting this into my Louvelli maker. I usually end up wearing more of it than I do incubating it. Let's give it a shot. This has been sterilized, and I'm going to go ahead and pour the arrowroot mixture into here in the bottom. I'm not even going to attempt this on camera. I'm just going to do it this way. We're just going to do it this way. Sam says I look good in milk, but I don't want to be wearing it on me now. It splatters all over. I already got some. All right, let's try this. Here we go. Ready? Are you ready? Okay, well, you can see how well that went, but at least it's not on me. And we already have everything in here. It's sure it's mixed well. Cover it up. Let's go put it in the Louvelli maker. By the way, you can't buy this on Amazon. This machine is bought at its own site, louvelli.com. I am not a spokesperson at all. I just love this. It never fails. So at this point, you're gonna fill up the machine till, let me take this off so I can show you, with some water that is above this line, but below that line. So let's do that. Well, in order to get it proper, this has to be in it. You want to use cool water, not hot. I made the mistake of using hot ones. The reason for that is because the Louvelli heats this to a very specific temperature, 100 degrees, which I am setting for you. Sam, are you able to get a shot from back there of that line? Yeah. See, it's right below that top line with cool water. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to cover it. I'm going to plug it in. And let's zoom down. It shows off right now. So I'm going to hit TEM, which is temperature, and it starts flashing at 97. Keep going. Now it's at 100 degrees. Perfect. We're almost making yogurt, but we want to cook it for more than 8 hours. So I'm going to hit the time plus to add. So I can show you 9, 10. If I hit the time minus, it takes time away. But I'm going to incubate this for 18 hours. I have done it for 24. I have done it for 12 hours. It works either way. Last step, don't leave it here, it won't work. Hit confirm. Now, see how it stopped flashing? So it says 100 degrees, 18 hours. Perfect. It's not flashing, that means it's on. And in about a minute, it's gonna start making noise as it heats it up. And it's gonna sit there for 18 hours, and this time will change. So in an hour, you'll come back, it'll say 17 and all that. Here, come listen. Can you hear it? It's heating up. We are making yogurt. Let me show you how it turns out.
Okay, so now we got the yogurt started, but I still have some yogurt left over from the last batch we made about 4 or 5 days ago. So I'm gonna make it here at my yogurt station. I'm sure every house has a yogurt station. So here's what we do. We just spoon out some of this amazing yogurt. It tastes so good. It's plain, but it's like it's dessert. And then I'm going to use some blackberries and strawberries because they taste good and they're very low carb. And I did go keto, so I'm trying. Now let's put it all in there. All right, and now for some more of these amazing ingredients. I went to Costco and I got some sliced almonds because you can buy a bag of like 75 pounds for $2. So that'll last me a couple days. And here we go. We just put some sliced almonds on there. You can use walnuts. That's what Susie prefers. And some of these golden raisins, just a few, because they are higher in sugar. And then we use some ground Saigon cinnamon. Just a little bit, helps with blood sugar. And then Madagascar vanilla bean powder, because this smells amazing and it's good for your soul. And then another secret is I use a tiny spoon when I eat it because it just lasts longer that way. Look at this. Does that look amazing? Because it really is. I need to be alone now.
Hey, thanks for watching. I'm Susie Cohen. I'm a real-life pharmacist, so I know a lot about medications and metabolic pathways. I've been writing medical articles for 30 years. You may have seen me in your local newspaper or some popular morning shows. If you're interested on my advice regarding a specific health topic, I invite you to use the search box at my website, susiecohen.com. I've used my knowledge of pharmaceuticals and herbs to formulate custom dietary supplements and skincare formulas that actually work. Please check the description below for links to my blog and my vitamin shop. Also, hit that subscribe button if you'd like to watch more content like this. Don't forget to ring the notification bell too.